Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox. You're on the panel tonight is my mate Bridgeman and also Port Bear.
I'm a fat man. I'm a fat man.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Oxshire. Good evening, Bridgeman. How are you guys? I just pointed something there. I just pointed something. I heard that was your mate Bridgeman and just Port Bear.
Your point is?
No, just asking a question.
Okay, can I just say a huge good evening to you two guys? Massive good evening to you guys in the lobby, to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How you doing, Muckles?
By the way, he's a bit upset with you now, isn't he?
Oh, I know. Mate, see that pretty lip? Turn that frown upside down.
Shocker, yes, shocker.
Oh, dear.
I'm a
That's
stat
what
man.
I like the stat man. And I do like the view for your bridge, but I think Foxy's one stuff.
Oh, we need to get him to play that again. That's fantastic, that one.
Aye, Fox is a good one.
No, I think it's better when Bridge sings it.
Oh, do you? Right, go on, Bridge.
What does the fox say? What the fox say?
Right, so it's Bridge's version.
What the fox say? Ying, ding, 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 ding. Absolutely outstanding, by the way.
Aye, let's just keep that
Absolutely
one. Keep the Bridge version.
What the fox say? Ying, ding, 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 ding. Oh my God!
Oh, listeners, this is how sober to Bridgeman sober tonight.
Just remind me,
Brilliant, brilliant.
what age are we?
What age are we? I'm 43. I think you're
Where
about...
you going saying that? You're a lot older than that, boy.
Bridgeman's maybe 60, I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe-
very,
Maybe
very
he's
wishful
right,
thinking
maybe
in my
not.
heart, I'll tell you.
That was
Very
funny,
wishful
innit?
thinking.
Aye.
Wait a minute, just before we move on, Bridge, one more time. How did it go?
What the fox say? Ding, 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 ding.
Brilliant.
Absolutely
Right,
wonderful.
myself.
Future rap star. Oof.
Oh,
Oh, my
dear,
God.
wait, country and western heavy metal.
Oh, it's superb, isn't it? Just superb. You got to laugh, man. You got to laugh.
Bridgeman indeed.
Oh dear.
So,
Sorry.
well, you know, a stat man's good as well, isn't it? I'm a stat man.
The stat man was good, but of course, I think Foxy's one stole.
Aye.
Anyway, we move on.
Stole the
All
show.
right.
Yes.
What the fox say? Ding, 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 ding.
You never knew when to stop in the class, did you?
No. No, you're right. Sorry. You're right.
Right, we move on.
Yes.
Two more sleeps, Bridgeman, to a massive
please.
game for us,
Oh, wow. What can you say? This is going to be the biggest game. By the way, not just of this season, but of many a season. When you look back, I've been sitting watching Rangers games most of the afternoon. I'll tell you, some dreadful decisions against us in some games for sure. Wow, really and truly, this is going to be massive. Absolutely massive for us. This is going to be a huge game for the fans. A massive game for the management. Our management, absolutely massive. Just imagine if we can get through this and with 3 points of any description, 1-0, 10-0, doesn't matter. We get through this with 3 points. Oh my God, there's going to be a lot of people really disappointed, and that's for sure. That's the way I look at it.
Can I hear the show or something?
I can hear it, yep.
Something to tell you on?
Yep.
Yes, we do know who it is. Right, Port Bear, you've got a question to put out there for as the show develops, because we're going to hear for the manager first his interview, but you've got a question you want to put out there to the punters?
I was looking at several Aberdeen games, mate, that I remembered when I was a youngster, young whippersnapper, in some, massive games against Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm.
And another wee thing I picked up on today was it's 33 years to the day when Davy Cooper smashes that free kick into the top corner. And I watched that today as well, and I thought, God, 33 years ago, that I can remember that yesterday. But the two games that stuck out in mind, Oxshire, are probably the three games were the league deciders against Aberdeen. So I'd like to hear from our listeners tonight what was their favourite Aberdeen game, what one can remember. Obviously there's the Gaza game.
Don't get them all out, mate, then.
Yeah.
You want their top three?
I want their top three, yes, mate. I'd like to hear the top three.
Ibrox are ever against Aberdeen.
Ever against Aberdeen. Let's go with ever.
Okay, all right. I think I've got mine, mate. Do you have to have been at them?
No. You don't have to have been at them. I'm not going to be a stick with the rules.
That one with the Davy Cooper goal, I remember the date well. I was in court the next day.
But they're a big rival, Oxshire, and they have been for a long time. It's a game which I've been at home and away, and I think I've probably been abused more at Pittodrie and Ibrox. I know half of them than anybody else. But I've always said that they only play 4 times a season. It's against us. We're their cup final, mate, and that's where they turn up against us. They could be in the worst form in their season, but they still come out against us. But to give them a positive this time, they're in no bad form this time. Oxshire meeting us, but we're in the exceptional form.
I think that's a mistake. They've made them focus too much on us and a rivalry that's in their heads, mate, because they'll never be our rivals. No. Bridgeman, that's a big game. Just your quick thoughts before we go here for the boss.
Yeah, following on from what Port Bear saying, it's a massive game, and we as a team and as a club, everything, we've got to stand up. This is Ibrox. Let them know where they are, and don't give them a chance at the ball. Get right in there and take it after them and score goals. Score goals, please. Win.
Yeah, you're right. Before we open up the call for calls, I think if you both gentlemen get yourself a mute. Let's hear from your manager, Stephen Gerrard.
I think we're still assessing certain individuals. Obviously, it's some players' first day back today. I haven't had a chance to see them players as of yet. We're still waiting on a couple this afternoon as well. What we've heard on the telephone is the majority are fine. Zungu's got a bit of a knock that we're assessing in his knee. Besides that, everyone else is relatively in good shape, we hear.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning.
The Aberdeen matches over the past couple of seasons between the sides have been really close over the past couple of seasons. What sort of match are you looking forward to on Sunday?
Again, another tough challenge. Obviously, the rivalry speaks for itself. It's a big game. Both teams are in good form. It's a game that we're really looking forward to. I think it'll be a different challenge to the one on the opening day. In terms of, both players might look different in terms of personnel. It's mouthwatering and one that we're very much looking forward to.
Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
How proud were you to see, obviously, Ryan Jack achieve something so historic for his country? And how, obviously, pleasing was it to see him play so well across a couple of games?
I think it was no surprise to see him play so well. I think Ryan's been very consistent since we came in here at Rangers. I think the way he applies himself, the way about it goes about his daily work, it's no surprise to see him in top form and producing the goods at international level. I'm really pleased for him. I was proud of his performance, and I think it was great to see, being up here and really involved in Scottish football now, to see the country back in a major tournament. It was fantastic to watch the celebrations, and I want to congratulate Steve and his staff and all the players involved. It was a magnificent achievement.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning.
Given you touched on it earlier about the challenge Aberdeen will face and how it might be slightly different. Do you feel that they will be a different side from what you've maybe faced previously, and even in the opening day of the season, given the way they've lined up since then?
Well, I think they'll come to Ibrox with confidence. As I say, they're on a good run of form. Obviously, the cup game aside against Celtic, I think they've reacted from the defeat from the first game of the season from us and really gone on a strong run. They've got players back from injury, players back from the COVID situation they were involved in. So, I'm sure they're going to come and really fancy the chances with confidence and belief. And in terms of what we're going to face, we think it'll be really similar to previous encounters. They'll be organised, they'll be well drilled, they'll be physical, and they'll carry a goal threat like they do. So it's a big game and a big challenge for us. But we can't be going in a better place ourselves. For me, the focus is always, what shape are we in terms of Rangers? And we couldn't be in a better place to face this challenge.
Stephen, given that then, is it easy to pick up that momentum again? Because it's been a great run all season, not just before the international break, but when you come back from an international break, how key is it to get that standard immediately? Yeah,
it is key, and that's the challenge for the players. The important thing for me is to get them back in the Rangers place, to focus back on Rangers, try and get them away from international duty and get the focus on what's going to face us in the coming days. All the focus and attention needs to be on Aberdeen. It's a big game. I think they deserve that attention because they're a good team and they will pose a difficult challenge to us. But for me, the players are really looking forward to this. You can feel around the place that there's a confidence and a belief about them. But it's always a challenge after a break, a couple of week break, even when you're in top form. The challenge is, can you find that rhythm as quick as you can?
Morning, Stephen. Stephen, in light of 7-match bans handed to Jordan and George, can you just tell us what this means from your point of view, both in the short and medium term, in terms of them coming potentially back into the group? And I think you said before the international break you'd speak to your leadership team about that, guys like James Tavernier, what say they may have had in the decision you may have reached.
Yeah, I think the important thing here was to get the players out of the isolation period, first and foremost. Then it was to sit down with the players face to face and try and gauge a reaction to how they feel and where they were at that time. I seen two players, I spoke to them individually. They were both very sad over the incident. They were remorseful and apologetic. They were full of regret. They first and foremost wanted to apologise to the supporters and the teammates for their actions. But in my position, it was time to support these two players. Once I seen that reaction, it was the reaction I wanted to see. And now it's about me giving them the support and managing them to get back to being top players, because the good players, we need them here to help and support us moving forward. So they've gone about it in the right way since they've accepted the punishments, and obviously we've been waiting for yesterday's hearing as well. We're pleased that's done and out the way, and we move forward and try and get these players back to where they both need to be.
Stephen, how important a period is this coming up for you, both domestically and in Europe?
Very important. I think we try and go game to game. So I think we know that the weekend's going to be a game with big rivalry, and we're going to have to put an awful lot into the game to get the result we want. But it's a game we're really excited about. And then very quickly after that, from a European point of view, we're hoping that we can provide the performance to make Thursday night very pivotal in terms of qualification. But two major tests for us over the course of the week. But first things first is to try and get a positive result from Aberdeen that will hopefully take us into the Benfica game in a good place.
Stephen, just obviously you've been sharing the goalkeeping duties with Al McGregor and John McLaughlin this season, but given John's now got that carrot of the Euros in the summer, are you tended to make sure he gets enough game time just so that he can have a shout of reaching the Euros?
It's not my job to help Scotland. Look, we rate John very highly. We've got two top-class number one goalkeepers here. I'll make the best decisions for Rangers. What I will say is I'll remain in communication and dialogue with Steve Clarke. I think it's important that we manage Ryan Jack and John in the best possible way. So I will try and support the national team from that point of view. I want both players to go and represent Rangers, and I want them to go in good form and in the best place they can be. But that won't affect my decisions from a domestic point of view. I've got to get results for Rangers. I have to manage Ryan Jack in the best possible way for him. John will get games of football here, for sure. You know, where Alan's at in his career. So John will play football from now till the summer. Will that be enough to please Steve Clarke? I don't know. That's obviously a question you'll have to ask Clarkey.
That support for Scottish football, will that be ended and come the game at Wembley?
As soon as the whistle goes.
All right, we're all back.
Aye, back, mate. Yeah.
Aye, indeed.
I don't want to turn into a debate about the two boys, but he's drawn a line under it, and we move on.
It's done, mate. It's done. Yeah, but it's done. I think that's pretty fair what he said. He said he's spoken to him privately, and that's what it should be. Yorkshire, you know, in your working life, if you're getting in trouble, I'm getting in trouble at work. It doesn't get aired, does it? No, it's a private meeting between you and your gaffer. And, you know, if you show remorse and show the right attitude, then draw a line in the sand and move on, mate. Like he says, yep.
Yeah, 100% agree with him. 100% agree with Port Bear there.
So we move on to the team, and there wasn't a lot of clues there, was there, gentlemen? Really?
I've been reading Oxshire. I don't know if you know that young Stephen Davis left the squad, but it wasn't on injury. It was for personal reasons. No. But apparently, he's still doubtful.
Right, okay, but
that's what I've picked up today in the media.
Could be loads of things, mate. Loads of things.
Yeah.
Loads of things. Family illness, anything, mate. You know. So
yeah.
But doesn't it make you proud to listen to that manager talking there? Yeah. Seriously, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, our manager. Well done.
You still have to pinch yourself to believe it. Stevie G's our manager, top draw.
Aye,
you know.
A day, Oxshire, and sees the club continues to grow. And I see what his project's bringing out and what his project and how it's finally working. Now, remember, he did say 4 years Oxshire, weren't he? Well, third season here. Yeah, you know, so for where we are now, I didn't expect to be this far. Did I expect the runs we had in Europe? Didn't expect that either. I thought that came later.
3 qualifications in a row. 3.
Exactly, buddy. His first attempt at manager, mate. So, he's done me proud. He's done the club proud. You know, and he's done himself proud more often than not. He's just an absolute superstar, mate. And whoever it was that finally decided to go and offer that guy the chance to manage Rangers, I take my hat off to him, because it was very brave to do Oxshire for a start, being a guy that's not managed. Under 18s team, that's what he was dealing with. And, you know, the project's working, mate. His project's working, and fair play to Rangers for showing that bravery.
If we're growing, he's grown as well, Bridger.
Absolutely. The man's dynamite for us. The way things are going, you can see him growing the first season, the second season. One of the problems, of course, as a demanding set of supporters, is that we're looking for it now. You know, we want it now. We can't wait till next season. Blah 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 blah. You know, and yes, if we can let this guy take his time and whatever time he needs, and do what he needs to do, and support him and what he's trying to do, which we're doing, and you can see the difference now, the growth in the team and the squad, and so on and so forth. You can just see it all. And let's hope that it continues that way, because the manager is trying his best, and he'll no change and no stop. And we need the players to just do the business that the manager's asking you to do. And particularly the ones I said about the 2 boys there. He was just talking about 2 boys. Under the table, it's gone. It's way done. It's behind us. Gone with your career. And you might, in fact, have a wee chance to get back into the team again. And that's what the manager said. So, well done. Well done to him. Well done, yeah.
All right, so people want to join us. These are thoughts. Answer the question that Port Boys post is. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. You've brought in the call with Fox and Old School Blue. Phone in, hang up, and we will contact you back. And what can you talk about, Port Bear?
Absolutely anything about Rangers, mate. Absolutely anything. about our great club.
And if you're really, really good, you might get a jingle.
Aye.
Right, so big game. What's the betting tomorrow, Port Bear? And the stats?
I think I seen Oxford. I think I seen something like, was it 7-1 or something like that? 8-1.
Who for?
Rangers, obviously.
Oh, we're 1-3 on, mate. Aberdeen.
Is it 1-3 on?
91 Aberdeen. You might have been getting that mixed up. I know you're.
Is that what it was? Yeah, I'm not gambling, mate.
Yep. Gambling, mate. So 1-3, the Rangers, strong favourites, Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
For the bookmakers, maybe the strongest we've been against Aberdeen in the last few years, mate.
Is it not true they've got a bit of trouble with some players unavailable?
I think they've got a few injuries, but I'm not really interested.
No, I don't care. That's it. We've got our troubles to get over, and let's get over them. And with every team that comes to Ibrox get treated the same, mollicated. If we can do it, mollocate them.
Aye, it'll be interesting to see what the team's going to be. Do you think he intimated that? Obviously, we know about the Stephen Davis one. Potential that Zunga might be on the bench and get brought on. That would leave you 3 for 4. Jack, Kamara, Arfield and Aribo. So you pick your 3 out of that for the midfield. Would that be fair, Port Bear?
Well, I slightly lined up different. I don't know if you knew this. Oxford Aribo played 180 minutes for Nigeria. So I was thinking maybe he might go with McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Balogun, Borna, Jack, Kamara, Arfield.
Whoa.
Sorry, mate.
What was the question?
The midfield, sorry. I don't think.
Any merit, and you'll be getting thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. You know what I mean, Bridge?
Sorry, mate.
What do you think, Bridge? Listen,
I think it's hilarious to listen to him, I'll tell you.
Do me a favour. There's one guy already doesn't listen to me on here.
I think what you've said to him is enough at the present moment, and I'm sure he'll perk his ideas up and get on with it.
See what I done there? See the way I told him off quietly, not in front of anybody, Bridge.
I saw that. Nobody listened.
That's the way it should be.
The boys in the forum don't know what you said.
Ask about a question. Midfielders, goalkeepers. Well, right. I'll start again. The manager intimated in his press conference and we know about Zunga having a bit of a wee knock. Yes. We know about Stephen. What a couple of callers coming in. You've missed your chance, Port Bear.
Oh, Port Bear, that's no nice.
Hello. Call us show. Let them in.
I don't know what I've done to it once. I can't handle that. We'll get Bournemouth, Bear. How are we doing, Bournemouth?
How you doing, boys? All right?
All right. Well, give me
all right yourself, pal?
One second. Good. Right back to Bournemouth. We've also got Carl for Southend on. How are we doing, Carl?
I'm doing fine, thanks very much.
All right, mate. I take it the missus must be still in hospital.
No, she got operated on the day.
All right, hope she's all right, mate.
Oh, she is. She was on the phone to me, nagging at me. I've got to do the windies tomorrow, trim the hedge.
Right, okay.
Well, I'm glad she didn't say trim the bush, you know what I mean?
This is a family show, we don't know what you're talking about.
I need the eyes, well, I don't know where my shears are. But talking about shears, let's do Raymond Sunday. Let's shear that mob.
Oh, I see what he's done there, Bridge, man. You see what he's done there?
Quite quick for a pensioner, aren't I?
Those quick as Bridge, he's fell off.
I've got 2 points now about the boys with the ban.
Uh-huh.
Is that ban backdated? Because remember, there was 2 games before they get banned yesterday. I didn't even know that they were getting done with the SFA yesterday. I didn't know the date.
I think it's 7 games gone forward.
I know they get 7. Did that include the 2 games at the...
No, I don't think so. I think there's 7 games.
So that's actually 9 games?
Potentially. Port Bear?
Aye, Oxford, it's something that I was reading about today, and yet again, I'm looking, and I don't want to start bringing up, negative stuff. I'm not like it, that. But it seems to be yet again we've been treated totally different for a club across the city and a club who were playing at the weekend in regards to the same, same incident, different outcome for punishment, mate. And I'm absolutely bamboozled about it. I don't know how you come to all different, rules for the same punishment, mate, for the same, incident. I don't know if you've looked up it yourself. I'm thinking from Redden, Ball and Golly get 3 games. I think the Aberdeen boys get 5. And your guys get 7, or what the caller's saying there, potentially 9. I just don't know why that happens, mate. It should have been the same number for all. I'm concerned.
I think we did that debate last night. Everybody was in agreement, but want to park it and see where it takes us, and I think that's what the manager's done. Carl, what was your second point?
Well, apart can I say this first? The manager was terrific the night, but here's my second point. The wee boy, I was watching Sly News this morning, Sly Sports, and that wee boy for the B team, Bobby or whatever his name is, couldn't write about getting racial comments for Rangers supporters. No, that was online gaming. Is he sure we're Rangers supporters?
Well, that's the thing you'll never be able to prove.
I don't know, but why did he come out then and say it's Rangers supporters, the boy you sell?
It'll be their usernames, mate, and obviously people.
I know, but he came on and says it was Rangers supporters. It's a terrible thing to say to him, but I mean, let's face it. I've got a thick skin. I think I've been racially abused in every country I've been in.
Carl, you can't ask questions and then answer them yourself.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Is Bournemouth Bear showed me no other woman on the internet are women. That right, Bournemouth?
It's true, mate. It's true. You don't know who's on there, and even there's folk on there kidding on there. Do you know what? The boy he maybe shouldn't have come out and said it was Rangers fans. Maybe the boy's young, he's a wee bit naive, but it could have been empty on that internet. You don't believe who's on there, who they say they are. It's not your proper details. You could be anybody. I don't think it's a major big deal that we should be worrying about, because we know it wouldn't have been Rangers fans. It'll be somebody else kidding on the Rangers fans. It's another news article that just gives people ammunition to fire at Rangers as usual.
And as you well know, Bournemouth, we're very politically correct on here.
Yes, we are 100%.
To the right, boys. To the right. Can I come in on that for a minute, Boxer?
Yeah, you come in, Bridge, and then we'll go back to Carl.
I was just going to say, I get great sympathy for what's happened. I think from here on now, Rangers should be keeping that quiet and dealing with it, whatever it is. I take my hat off to the boy for being strong enough. Maybe he was guided by his family to go and complain about it, because he must have obviously felt something. I'm hoping it's not a slight on Rangers itself as a club, because the club don't go down that line now. It's not they ever did, but they just don't go down. They're not that way inclined. It's for everyone, club for everyone. So I hope Rangers just keep it quiet that way and deal with it on the side of others. If they can do any dealing on the side with the SFA and whoever else that runs these FIFA places, So I don't know how bad it is, but I agree with Bournemouth Bear when they say it's probably been the other side pretending to be one other thing,
Can I pop in there, Oxford, a wee minute? I'm a FIFA player, mate, just to give people the older. Oh, I'm a hell, mate. No. I love my FIFA. Oh, I love it.
It wasn't you that was calling the boy the names then, was it?
No, but what I'm about to say to you, Bridgeman, say something.
The original point. He's far too old to be.
Not at all. But listen, what I'm going to say is some of the names you see, nobody ever puts. I think I'm maybe one of the very few that puts Mark Lynch when you're playing online against other people from across the country. But you've got other people. I'll give you an example. There's one guy that I played not long ago, and he basically calls himself the zombie scalpers. And you know what he's getting at there. You know what I mean? You know what side his butter's bread on. But the wee guy, he shouldn't be naive if he's playing the game long enough, but there's loads of these guys out there that have names with sectarianism aimed at obviously guys like myself or guys that's not Rangers fans, mate. And You know, it's an awful shame for a big massive company like EA Sports that they can't, you know, cut out these names. You know, they must have an auditing system where they can audit names where they think could be deemed as derogatory or insensitive, Oxdale, you know, to deal with these things.
One man's food's another man's poison, you know what I mean? We're all here. But the main point is you're far too old to be playing the games.
That's right.
Oh, Port Bear.
Aye. Oh, Port Bear loves his FIFA. Any challengers out there, give me a shout.
Are you better at FIFA or are you better in real life, Port, on the park?
It was better at FIFA.
I'll give it a one-word answer to that. Neither.
Oh, well.
It was better at neither of them.
You know that's not true. You know that's not true about me.
The gaming's a great source of entertainment for a lot of people.
Mate.
And it's massive. But hopefully the boy's all right. He's just getting noised up by a couple of, I would say, Bournemouth, potentially people from the other side of the city here.
100%.
Yeah, and you know what? And it does probably happen on both sides. It probably happens with Hibs, Hearts, Dundee United, Dundee. It does happen, and it's going to happen. Or social media, computers, things like that, where you can't be traced back. It's going to happen, and the boy should maybe no came out and said Rangers fans. He's maybe a wee bit naive, a wee bit young, but we know that when they're Rangers fans, I think we just forget about it.
No. Carl, you're sharing the sheep line is doing a storm in the lobby.
Shearing a sheep, yeah, absolutely.
Of the sheep, yes.
Did he say shearing or sharing?
Whatever you like, mate.
Shear them, you know how you do them. You do by big clippers, and sometimes you draw blood, and we're due to draw some blood for that mob.
I tell you what, you can't.
They can bleat all the way back to Aberdeen, as far as I'm concerned.
You can't pull the wool over his eyes, can you, Bournemouth?
Well, the jokes are flowing tonight. I just hope the joke's on them on Sunday.
The bear babies, I'm a nervous wreck now. I'll be on my paracetamol and Lanlick, I think, on Sunday.
Lanlick, there's a blood.
Aye, that's a name you've not heard say for a while, have you?
Aye, brilliant. A good
I never
old
drank Buckfast because that was for the Mickey mob. Because that's made by monks.
I think, I know it's
right. Look, lads, I'm going off the phone because I want to watch. My wife says we've got a stare at things. It's usually that big blue star in the middle of the screen you use, you know. So I've got to get back onto that, and so I can listen to the whole thing. Where you love it all. Keep up the good work. God save the Queen, and we are a people.
On yourself,
right,
cheers, Bob.
What's your point, mate? Bournemouth.
Oh, sorry, I was letting that boy go. No, I was just catching up, Oxford. I've not been on for a couple of weeks, just catching up, just see how he's all well.
Everybody's safe in your world?
Aye, just plodding on, mate. We've just all got to get on, mate, and it just is what it is, and we've just all got to keep going with the rules, stay safe, and hope for the Bears just keep performing the way they've been performing. I'm actually looking forward to Sunday. I just hope they come out and just continue the form for the Hamilton game, really. I know, obviously, Ryan Jack's been outstanding with Scotland. Actually, I've never even seen any of the game. I don't bother on international football at all. But just what I read, that Ryan Jack was brilliant. I hope he continues his form. He'll be confident. I don't think Davis will play. He's got kind of personal issues. Maybe Ryan Jack, Kamara, maybe a Rebo in the middle of the park. But I think we've got enough there now. We've got players that can come in and compete. And I'm not worried. I just hope we start the game and get an early goal, and then we should be fine, you know.
That's a great point you make about the midfield. Port Bear.
Aye, I know. I think obviously because of what the man at the Gaffer said, Oxford, I don't think he's given himself much midfield choice. I think the midfield three were pretty straightforward, mate. In my opinion, in his choices.
Go on then.
Then it'll be Jack, Kamara, Arfield.
So you're not playing Aribo?
No, 180 minutes he played, mate, for Nigeria, and that's the only reason I'm not playing him.
Alright, but you're playing Kamara, who played 90 minutes against Wales and about 75 of them with 10 men.
Aye, I know, mate, I know what you're saying, but I still think Kamara brings that wee bit of difference in there and defensive stability.
All right, but it's a good problem we've got. Bournemouth, that we've got absolute genuine competition for places.
It is, Rox, 100%. And don't get me wrong, Port, you know yourself, I played football in that as well. And it's all about playing games. You want to play games. I've seen a couple of interviews with different managers. I've seen the Rat across the road moaning about Christie playing 3 games in a week. But see when your confidence is like Ryan Jack, your confidence is building. You're winning every week. You're winning with Rangers. You go to Scotland. You're qualified. You want to keep playing. I think playing minutes after minutes is. I would rather play minutes than train. You know what I mean?
Remember, he just came back for that wee injury. Bournemouth. That's the only reason, mate. I'm saying what I'm saying.
That's the only thing with Ryan Jack. Aye. We've kind of got to look after Jack. I would agree with that. Aye.
I think Mr. Gerrard will be trying to get whatever team he wants on the pitch today and Thursday, and then he's maybe get a game where he can look to mix and match on the Sunday. But it's important that we should have enough whoever we play to beat Falkirk. But they're all big games, Bridgeman.
Absolutely, pal, and none bigger than the one that's coming up on Sunday. And you know, the boys are right. The manager's got to put the team he would like out, and if he can't do that, then obviously he's got to mix and match till he gets what he wants. I personally think he'll go with Aribo in midfield. I really do think that, and I'll leave. I think he'll play Arfield, but I'll leave him in a different role because it's going to be a really, really tough. I would imagine it's going to be a really tough game, you know.
No, and, Bournemouth, you were going to gauge your team before Rudra interrupted you.
I'd probably go with McGregor, Tav, right, Barisic left, Balogun, Goldson, Aribo, Jack, Kamara, Arfield, Kent, and maybe Roof, as Morelos has been travelling a lot.
All right, okay. All right, and Port Bear, I take it yours is different for that?
It certainly is, mate. I've got McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Balogun, Borna Barisic, Ryan Jack, Kamara, Arfield, Kent, Morelos up front, and I think he might go with Roof on the right-hand side, mate, this week, because it's a position I still don't believe we've nailed down, mate, and I still think we've got a right mid.
And this is where Roof was. As long as Morelos is there, that's the position.
Yes.
You see him trying to get in the team for. All right. He played in that role with Leeds,
He did several times, mate. I think Bielsa seen that he was more than a striker, more intelligent than just a guy that can put the ball in the net and score obviously wonder goals, which is capable as well. So I think he realises he's intelligent in his link-up play with Morelos and Kent. Very intelligent young man, mate. So I think that's what the man brings you. He brings you that game intelligence and speed, pace, and a threat at goal as well. Yeah, goals. 100%, mate. Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Can I? Sorry, pal.
Is that for top 3 forwards, Bridge?
I think so. I think it's. I'm assuming that you're playing Port Bear. I'm assuming you're playing Morelos.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Because I was thinking I'd put Big Eaton in. You know, simply because he's got height and bulk.
You mean it's similar to what we've done at Kilmarnock Bridge?
Correct. You know, so some of but I don't know if Morelos is 100% fit. We can only wait and see. If there's any doubts, then that's who I would use. I'd use my squad as much as possible because I think we're going to in for a heavy game in the sense it's going to be quite physical, and we need people that can stand up to the physical side of it without getting battered. You know, that's the way I feel about it. Seriously, I would have Aribo and I'd have Aribo on the left side, providing they're all fit and there's no difficulties after the games. And I would I'd have Morelos and Roof in if we could get them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Eaton in there and Kent's a starter all the way along the line.
Good points. But I think the good thing about it, Bournemouth, everybody's got slightly different teams, different thoughts, and you don't take a lot away for the team, and that's what Gerrard's done. He's built a squad, Bournemouth.
See when you look about it and think about it, like the unbeaten run to Europe, the league, everything, right? And we've all got different teams. All the guys on the phone every night have got different teams for each game. I actually don't think we've played the same team 2 games in a row this season, and we're still unbeaten. That shows you the squad depth.
I mean, if you take the goalkeepers are swapped, we've played about 20 games so far. Is that right, Port?
20 games, 17. Sorry, mate.
14 in the league. How many in Europe? 5 in Europe.
Yep.
That's 19 games. Is that what we've played?
But what I'd written down earlier on, we won 16 clean sheets, 20 games undefeated. That's what I put down earlier on.
We played 6 in Europe or 5. It's 14 in the league, isn't it? 14 in the league.
14. Yep.
And we played two. Oh, we played all the teams in the Europa. So you're right, mate. It is 20 games.
Aye, 20 games. Yeah.
We're halfway through. 20 games. So you take the games John McLaughlin's played, and then the games that Hatlander and Balogun, just they two have swapped. But I don't know if we have played the same team 2 games in a row. Great pick out there, Bournemouth. We'll check that out.
It's just when you think about it all, you know what I mean? And it's not. A lot of folk always say keep the winning team, and I know he's been changing it horses for courses, but it doesn't worry us anymore now, because see if somebody's coming out, the next person that's coming in is.
Can I cut across you, mate? Sorry to be rude. We'll get Big Al. I don't know where he is. How are we doing, big man?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Are you driving?
Can you hear me all right?
Aye. But your sound's no great. Make your point.
I've got new earphones. They're super sensitive.
Oh, that's
right.
What you've done.
Is that all right? Can you hear me now?
No, what have you done? Do it again.
I done nothing. I'm just telling you they're super sensitive. I'll hang up. I'll give you a call back.
No, you're
10.
Fine. Ow, you're fine. Carry on, make your point.
Right. Oh no, I was just touching base with you guys.
That's better.
Aye. Just touching base, man. So the game on Sunday, it's a big game again. Back for the 2-week layoff. It's imperative that we get a good win on Sunday. If we can take a good few goals, that would be better. But I mean, a 1-0, a Bridgeman would suffice for me.
First and foremost, 3 points. Oh, first and foremost.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, guys, definitely. The team is starting to look good. I just, with some reservations in regards to when we've had breaks in the past, not this season obviously, but referring back to last season, when we've had some breaks in the past, maybe we've came back, we've not bounced back 100%, maybe 80%, but I think that's maybe been dealt with the management team. So hopefully Sunday is 3 points in the bag, and we can move on from there. And just as you are saying, I don't have a problem with the rotation. If we're rotating players, resting players, I think we've got quite a good squad that can handle that now. Looks good.
All right, big man. Always a pleasure. But obviously, because your sound's no brilliant, we'll let you go. But great to hear from you.
I'm taking these earphones back.
I see you're perfect now. Then 1 minute we can hear as if you're driving.
Aye, I know. I'm in the car. Got a few things to do this morning. Right, I'll leave you to it, boys. I'll try and speak to you on Sunday. But it's good to hear your voices. Take care. Look after yourselves, boys.
You too, mate. Cheers.
All the best, big man. All the best, mate.
That's bizarre. 1 minute he's as clear as a bell.
Perfect, aye.
And the next minute he's in a helicopter, isn't it? You know, if Big Al's happy, we must be doing something right. I don't mean that. I know he just wants us our team to do well, but he'll admit it himself. He sometimes looks at the negatives rather than positives. But if he's happy, we're in a good place, Port.
Very, mate. You know, Al's been on the show. You know, and this isn't slating the big man. He's been on the show and he's been very, very critical of some of Steven Gerrard's signings. And in my opinion, some of them signings, I'm glad they've done it. Some of them signings have hopefully, you know, turned the corner with Al. And Al now thinks that the team's improved under Steven Gerrard. And I hope he's happy now with Gerrard, because he was unhappy with Gerrard as well. So I hope the big man's feeling, you know, well down Australia and he's enjoying watching Rangers again. Because I know he did have quite a quite an opinion on certain players, and rightly so at some points in Margaffer. But, we've been very consistent, mate. It's like your stats touched on earlier on. 17 wins, 16 clean sheets in 20 games, mate. You can't argue with that.
No. Tremendous stats. And I think 4 of the goals we've lost has been 3 against Benfica, 1 against Galatasaray. Galatasaray. Is that right?
Galatasaray. Yeah.
And one of them, both of them, we lost goals in the last minute, so we just cut that out.
Yep.
We improve even more, but we're in a good place, Bournemouth, huh?
Yeah, really good place. And the difference to last year as well, Ox, I feel is we were outstanding for the 6 months, but then couldn't keep it up. But you notice this year with Gerrard, he keeps mentioning about players, horses for courses. And last year he wasn't really making the changes and different things. He seems to have a mix of players now. You look at the Kilmarnock game the other week. Who would have said that Itten would have started? But he started Witten because he knew the park. He didn't want to play the ball on the deck. He wanted to go long. So he's learned to last season, you know what I mean, with the different teams, the different parks, what it's like. And we've got a mixture of players now that's suitable. We've got sometimes we'll play teams at Ibrox where we'll need to be fast running about the box to break them down, like the Hamilton game. Brilliant. We get the 8. Away to Kilmarnock, we need to go long waiting. So he's learned, and we've got a mix of players. We've got a great squad. Just really, really good. Really, really good.
I've got a different wee spin on that, Bournemouth. I think, see the way we played against Hamilton? I think when we're on our ball and we're playing at that pace and that power and that intensity, I think we can do it to any team in the league. And I don't know if I'm being naive saying that. I don't really think I am. I think if any team we play, and we play to that standard as we played against Hamilton, Rangers can do it to any team in the Premier League, mate. It's only my opinion, right enough. But
no. See on that, Port. Honest to God, see the way that we've been playing with intensity, and it's basically 10 seconds on the ball, 10 seconds on the ball, touch, move, and movement off the ball. See if we can keep that up and play like that. There's no MD will come near us or touch us.
Aye, I agree, mate. I agree.
Tough nut to crack nowadays, eh? A tough nut to crack, that's for sure.
Aye, because we're a hard team to play against because we make you work so hard.
It's the movement off the ball is second to none on all. It's not even when they've got the ball, it's the movement off the ball. See if they lose it, it's like they've got that kind of 5, 6, 7 second rule that, right, let's get it back. And it's the movement off the ball is brilliant as well, and that's what works. So if you're moving at high intensity, forward pressing teams back, all right, they might nick the ball off you. But if your midfield's continuing up and get the ball back, that's where we're killing teams. It's just high intensity.
Listen, when they teams Port Bear, you played in the engine room when they came off the park. You know what I mean? When they came off the park after playing against Rangers, and you're sitting in the opposition changing room just after you've walked in, you've been in a game.
Even at half time, Oxford, you'll know. Even at half time, you'll be sitting there and you'll be literally looking at your mates and trying to lift each other, and wonder when they're going to give you a break, when you're going to get some possession, mate. But Rangers just absolutely starve you a possession. That's what they do, mate. And you mentioned on the show often enough, Mucker. You say it's one of the things you hated doing, one of the things I hated doing. Bournemouth series played as well, so he hated doing it as well. And it was basically running doggies, and that's what you're doing. You're running about without the ball for 15, 20, 25 minutes sometimes, and that's hard work, and it's also demoralising if you're the team on the end of that, mate.
See the thing I know, Port. All right, people say, Rangers beat Hamilton 8-0, well, it's only Hamilton. But see, when you look at the European teams who played, even, all right, Benfica went down to 10 men, but even over there, a top quality team like Benfica, all right, they went to 10 men, but we got our act together. We started playing the way that we can play, and even a top team like that, they couldn't handle it because of the intensity, the way they fought off the ball, and then when we got the ball, the movement was just tremendous, man.
Look at the Dutch team, mate. I mean, obviously they're not a top draw Dutch team, second level, but we took 4 off them. and beat them easy.
Yeah, 100%, Oxide, 100%, man.
But you guys know when you're playing football and you're out there, and you know yourself when the game starts and you win your first battle, you win your second battle, and you take the ball after the person you're direct opposite. You win them each tackle or take it away. Within 4 or 5 tackles, you see their head starting to drop a wee bit because they don't know how to get into the game if you're continuously taking the ball after them or winning the tackle or whatever.
We don't play like that, Bridge.
No, I know that, but all I mean is on the park, every player, you know what you're going to try and do. So when you...
What happens with us is when we get the ball, we've maybe got it for 5 minutes and then they get it back, have a throw in, and sometimes, and then we get it back within 30 seconds. We might not do anything, but we've got it for 5 minutes. And
we hold the ball. And that's what I'm meaning. But you can see, you know, from when you started playing football when you're young, when you can hold the ball and your teammates can come into the game and you can do wee passing movements, work that all the way up to professionals. They can do that. You said there, 20 passes, 20, 25 passes, and that's going to take 2 minutes in the game. You know, if you're in a team and you can't get the ball, it's completely demoralising.
Completely. Either that, you've got to be working at it all week, Port, to be prepared for that, which is hard work, isn't it? It's hard work.
It's hard work, mate. Hard work. I mean, they work in that system, you know, on a daily basis. He's got them drilled, you know, in my opinion, this year, mate, he's got them drilled to a standard above the first 2 seasons he had them. In my opinion, what he's did is he's cut out a lot of the mistakes, and where I criticised Gerrard a lot, I didn't think we used to win enough second balls this year, which really peeved me off, because I always think, you know, if you don't win your first ball and you don't win your second ball, then you've really got no chance. But now what I find is, as soon as they win most of their first balls and they win the majority of the second ball as well. This six second retention they've got all year on winning the ball, hunting in packs, mate, it's working tremendously. It must be so hard to play against us. And then of course throw into the mix where Gaffer, you know, pulls a wee ace out his sleeve now and again, or 2 aces out his sleeves and plays guys that, you know, teams aren't expecting. And I think that's confusing teams at all, mate, which is absolute tactical genius, if you ask me.
Well, I wouldn't be setting my side up to play against Hadji if I was the opposition, but it wouldn't surprise me if Gerrard starts him at home.
But that's the sort of things, isn't it?
Barker. Wow, unbelievable.
That's the sort of things where he's confused teams this season, and they've came off.
All right, so we're going to have a tune in a few minutes' time, so people want to join us after the tune, give their thoughts. What's the number, Port Bear?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us, Bridge?
They can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Fox and Old School Blue will bring you in. Look after you, enjoy yourself.
What can they talk about, Bournemouth?
All things Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah.
The famous Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah. Aye, I've had a think about it, mate, and I'm just going to go with my games at Ibrox, Port Bear. I'll keep them to myself. I've took away the Hampden and the Pittodrie ones, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Aye. It's going to be great to hear. It's going to be great to hear some people's opinions, mate, because there was some great games against them.
Aye, I've got my top one. Aye.
What's that for Oxford? You have a wee thing?
Oh, there's a big prize, mate. Port Bear's put up a big prize for the night, mate. Did you know here at the start?
Oh, what's the question then?
No, I was asking for your top 3 Aberdeen games against Aberdeen. So I'm thinking about it, and because we're at Ibrox, I've went for games at Ibrox, you know.
You allowed to say it? Is it all got to be Ibrox? I don't think that's right, is it?
I don't know. It's Port Bear's game.
Hey, Port Bear, has it got to be Ibrox or what?
No, let's widen the scope. Let's make it, you know, Aberdeen in general. With it with Pittodrie, with it with Hampden.
Wait a minute, I get my pencil out again.
I need to write all this down again. This man's he's murder, isn't he?
Oh, do you want me to just make it easy for you? Just say Ibrox.
No, I want you to. What
It's
is
a
you
league
want
game
to
at Ibrox, isn't it? It's a league game.
No, the best game I've ever seen against Aberdeen, with my own eyes, was at Celtic Park, Scottish Cup.
69, Bridge.
I think it was 69. We beat them 6-0 or 6-1 or something like that. Unbelievable.
Willie Johnson.
Correct.
Did you know that, Port Bear?
Did not, mate. See, every day at school, day.
You've obviously not done your homework before you came on here, mate,
I was you not twinkle my feathers groin at fucking that age.
I just got to let him know this. You've got to recognise that Rangers are 150-year-old shortly. You've got to know if it start to finish. Come on here.
Yeah, that was some game. That was a brilliant game.
Yep.
I think that was a year before they built their new stand as well. I think it was one of the last games in the Midden, the old Midden.
Aye, when it was a proper Midden.
Oh dear, what it was! It was indeed. Everywhere around too. Oh, listen, by the way, the boys are putting the scores from tonight's game in the lobby, and I don't know to laugh or cry, to be honest, because there are two teams at the present moment that I really don't like, either of the two of them, and I don't know whether to be happy for one or sad for the other. I just don't know. But nah, never mind. I'll not bother. I just hate the two of them. That's it.
Right, I've changed that. I've got my top 3 Aberdeen games. Right, I've changed that. There you go. You happy?
Top 3 Aberdeen.
Are you happy now, Port?
Aye, mate. Yep, always have it.
I'll gear them after the tune. Is that all right, Bournemouth?
Yeah, well, I can only give you 2 because I'm a bit younger. I'm a bit younger.
You're not much younger than me either. That you'd some size of baby. Must be all that nice soap you use.
Aye.
Right, you sorted, Brishman. You got yours.
Yes, sorry, yes. Couldn't get it there.
I bet you Port Bear Fox will come in with his wee jingle and give his.
Oh, I'll be glad to hear the wee man's. Aye, definitely. Yep.
The wee man, Fox is 6'2", mate.
I will. All right.
Oh no!
What's up with you?
I was laughing at you saying that there.
Well,
that's terrible saying that.
He might be 6 foot. He's no wee, he's Fox, is he?
6 foot. I love it, by the way. It's just brilliant.
Depends what hairdo he's got, doesn't it?
Well, that's a good point, isn't it? Because
right, okay. Well, get yourself a mute, have a thought, and we'll come back to it after the tune, all right?
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. To start a football team, they had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags. Sing with your heart and voice. Celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For life's not our dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kit, not even a ball. They still carried on. angels are born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. Oh, that's had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kid, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are born. 54 titles, I'm still going strong. 54 titles, we're still going strong.
I think you liked that number, Bridge.
Yes, I did. Absolutely, yeah. I caught myself singing it.
Your live performance to the lobby would like.
I realised that I hadn't switched it off, and then I think you did it for me. So thank you.
The voice of an angel.
The voice of a dear. Wow.
Right, we're back.
We're back.
We're all back.
Okay. Right. In reverse order, and it's hard to believe that I'm going to say this. Games have been at reverse order. Gaza's hat trick in third place, which is hard to believe when you clinch 8 in a row. What a performance, an individual performance. The team had run out of gas a wee bit and they pulled us over the line to win the league that day at Ibrox, which hasn't happened that often if you think back. Most of the time we seem to win it away from. Number 2 would have been another league-winning performance at Ibrox, Mark Hateley double. One of the best goals and headers you've seen. Cross from Mark Walters, header for Mark Hateley. Just the circumstances about it. And the team was injuries, and we'd lost 3-0 to Motherwell the week before, and we'd fell behind Aberdeen. They were actually ahead of us. They only needed a draw to win the league. And we won it, but I think my top one, and we never even won the game. My top memory against Aberdeen would be 1987, Pittodrie. Terry Butcher scored the goal, they equalised. We won the league for the first time since 1978. Everybody's got an era. And obviously I was on a babe in arms at that game, but that would still be my top memory. So 87, Mark Waters and Hateley, 91 I think, and then Gaza 96. There you go, that's my top 3. Bridgeman.
Well, I've not got the same memory as you about the details of it, but I've got one, the game I mentioned earlier against at Celtic Park against Aberdeen in the Scottish, I think it was semi-final of the Scottish Cup, and we beat them 6-1. And Aberdeen had quite a good team too, but we were absolutely brilliant. Willie Johnson, as you mentioned, and there's a few others, but I don't know, I can't remember all the detail. But that's the best I've seen, a best result in game I've seen against Aberdeen. Excuse me. And then last year, round about this time, September I think it was last year, we beat them 5-0 at Ibrox. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Was at the game. Absolutely brilliant. Can't remember all the details, so please forgive me, guys. And way back in 2004, we beat them 5-0 again at Ibrox. And obviously I can't remember all the details. But these are games that we're at. And fantastic. Absolutely outstanding stuff from Rangers. Loved every minute of it. And it's great to beat them. Anytime. Great to beat them.
Aye, that's without cup finals. Bournemouth there.
I might just sway away for the Gaza one and all. Gaza hat-trick would be number 2 for me. number one would be a few years ago. I was up at Aberdeen and we went 2-0 down. I don't know if you remember, Rox. Yarvik scored and Kenny Miller got a double. We were 2-0 down. We ended up winning 3-2. That was brilliant up at Tawdry. That was probably my best experience. And number three would be remember the cup final? Goalkeeper got sent off and was it Robbie Winters went in goals? Hampden, we beat them 5-0.
4-0 Orange Cup final.
Yeah,
Cup
yeah, that would be my three. That would be my three best games growing up.
All right, I forgot about cup finals. I was 7-8 when we won the treble against them. Big Johnson scored, I think, and Alan McDonald, I think. But some marvellous games. What about you, Port Bear?
Well, mine was as soon as you, mate. Most of mine are in that sort of bracket. So probably number one would be the stop. You know, the soon as his first win. And then probably two, the Gaza hat-trick. And then number one for me was Hateley's, you know, 2 headers, mate. Just
Did
absolutely
you say
fantastic.
you're from the Souness era?
Is that what I've put down? Aye. Souness' first title.
Mm-hmm. And the Souness
It was John Souness.
And then, obviously, Walters, the next two, aye.
What age were you then, Port?
Well, I was young, but I'm 43 now, so...
I was only 7, 1991.
I'd been a young lad, aye.
It's getting better.
I'd been a young lad.
Bridgeman, there's only me tells the truth about the age on here.
That's the truth, innit? Oh boy, these people are getting to know you very well.
That one. I gave you a wee hint there, Port Bear. Walter, that was Walter's first trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, 4 games to go. And then the Gaza one was a few seasons later. But all special games, special memories. And
Aberdeen were a top team, Yorkshire as well. They were a real top team.
I know they just won the league, that other mob, but if you're being honest, in that mid-80s in Scotland, Aberdeen were the top side. Bridgeman?
Oh yes, I've been over there and wept at Ibrox watching them and letting it and lettered us. And to be honest, I have to say to you, during that era, that boy Leighton in goal was just something else. My goodness gracious, he fought with everything. He fought with the ball, fought with the person coming in, the sneaky kicks and all that. It just had a great game about him, the way he played. Didn't take any prisoners. He took the ball and the man and everything. What a good goalkeeper he was. And that was the backbone of that team. And Willie Miller was a quality centre-half as well, I must admit. Quality centre-half. Tough game.
Blend of player.
Aye, they were a good outfit. Oh, wait a minute, have I stepped too far forward? Maybe I'm thinking a different era. I do apologise if I am.
What do you mean?
With Willie Miller and...
no, mid-80s, mate. Willie Miller.
Mid-80s, that's correct. That's what it was, The old... stands were terrible. I used to go and sit in the Sandy Jardine stand of the Govan stand, as it was called. Oh my God, you could hear the guy 5 or 6 rows behind you talking, because there was nobody there. It was sometimes empty stands, Incredible stuff. Incredible.
But we bounced back for that when Souness came in, and if I'm being honest, that's where they took the halfways their support and get carried away with herself. Up until then, there was never any problem with Aberdeen, I think so it'll be interesting to see what people think. We've gave our top games. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. Well, you'll be brought into the call by Old School Blue and Fox. Phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. I think we've got a caller coming in now. They'll be right with us. See if you recognise the voice, Port Bear. They'll be with us in a second. But I'll take a Bridgeman on Sunday, Bridge.
Me too.
I take a Bridgeman just because I think that first and foremost it's one of these games, Port Bear, but it's 3 points first and foremost.
Just back for a break, mate. You're looking for that consistency to be there. It probably won't be 100%, but it's the result that matters most to me, mate. And as long as we keep that winning run going, that unbeaten run going, that keeps momentum, in my opinion. And we just keep rolling on. It's all in our hands, Oxshare. We just need to keep, ticking off, as Bridgman always says, ticking off one at a time. And, bring home 55. And I'll tell you what a party that's going to be.
Here. I said Bournemouth 1-0 in the next 3 games in 3 different competitions. I take that just to put them to bed, the 3 games.
Yeah, mate, Sunday, mate. I think Sunday's just all about getting over the line, get the 3 points. Doesn't matter what the score is. I'm actually not even bothered at this performance. It'd be good for a good performance, but just get the 3 points. There's been players all over the world gone to international duty. We've not been together for a couple of weeks. Just get, Sunday, get it out of the way, get 3 points. It's a big game. And then we can get back into our rhythm, the training every day, everybody sticking together and move on for there. But yeah, 100%. Sunday just about get 3 points, get over the line, and then move on, mate.
On a purely selfish point of view, Bournemouth, from now on, that's us to the beginning of March, mate. The games don't stop, thick and fast.
No, and when you look at it, everything's, I know it's still early, there's loads of time to go and that, but if somebody says to you right now, if somebody goes in that dressing room, every one of their players, and says, do you want to win this league this season? How much do you want it? It's in your hands right now. You know what I mean? It's there. They've got their games in hand, yeah, they win them, but we're still top of the league. So it's in this team's hands. It's how much do they want it? There you go and play. Give us commitment, give us consistency, and go and do what you can do.
Okay, we'll be joined by Alex. Evening, Alex. Evening, Alex. Last call for Alex.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute there. Sorry, guys. It's still loud.
You're going to go back in mute because we've been joined by Bob Gere. Evening, Bob Gere.
How you doing, Ox?
All right, mate. You cannot keep away from us now, can you?
Oh, no. Like I told you last night, the night of four, I'm addicted, man. Totally addicted to Rangers Radio. I'm a Rangers Radio junkie.
We've got a helpline, Bob Gere. Oxshare will give you that later on.
Well, as long as you inject me with blue dye, I'm happy. I'll tell you what, I've just been listening to the discussion, brilliant, about the Aberdeen games and that. Mm-hmm. I mean, me being at my age, I'm 70-year-old, as I keep telling you, and I'll tell you, I've seen some physical battles with that lot during the 60s, when Big Tubby Ogston played with them and what have you. I've seen some real physical battles with that lot. Do you ever remember a game in the late 70s? I think it was about 1977. Rangers played dream football. Davy Cooper tore them inside out. We beat them 6-1 at Ibrox. A League Cup time. Yes. You remember that night?
I was at that game, yes.
Well, you're that game, Ox, huh?
Yes.
Oh, Rangers tore them. Davy Cooper and Bobby Russell tore them to shreds.
They made a good play. I think Alan McLeod was our manager then, or McNeil. I can't remember. Yeah.
What was whose manager? I think it was McNeil that was our manager.
I think it was McNeil just before they left.
Billy, aye. Mm-hmm. And all Rangers gave them the right doing that night. But say you're asking for a top 3 there. Well, that could be one of mine.
Right.
And the soonest first time, definitely. And it was a special time for me in 1991 when Hateley with the 2 headers. I loved that. And I'll throw in Davy Cooper's free kick. There you go.
Wow. 86.
And one of the league cup finals.
87. That was.
33 years to the day.
Alex, how you come, mate?
Good evening, guys. How we
doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, fine. Listen, I've got to say as well before I go on, it's been a privilege listening to Bob all week. His stories are absolutely different class, so great to hear from you.
He's turning
I never thought you would say that, Alec.
I'll tell you what, Alex will be really good. Once we get him to come out his shell, it'll be a lot better.
He's a wee bit
Aye,
like
like my day there.
my Rangers, Robert.
I like Robert. We
Aye,
love Robert.
listen,
We love Robert.
Oh, jeez. I loved your comment last night. I know we love Robert, but we can only deal with him once a week.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of similar. I'm a kind of similar age to Port there. I'm mid-40s myself. So see, the Aberdeen League Cup finals. I think it was 87, 88, and 88, 89. There was a 3 each game. I'm sure that was a Davy Cooper free kick, but the other one 3-2, where you had the hitch kick of Ian Ferguson. They were two absolutely brilliant games to watch.
Aye.
Back to back cup finals, League Cup finals, aye.
Aye, that was it that year, aye. That was a birthday game, yeah. Aye.
In fact, did we not win the League Cup 3 years in a row? Was the Celtic 2-1 with Ian Durrant?
Yep, that's correct.
Aye, that's right. Aye. They lost it in the fourth one, and then Paul Mason scored 2 goals against us, am I right? Aye.
Against Aberdeen.
Aye, against Aberdeen.
I'm going to jump out, mate. Right, I'm going to jump out and I'll listen
Cheers,
to the
Bournemouth. You look after
yourself,
yourself. Stay safe, bro.
Good luck, boys. See you
Cheers,
later.
Bournemouth.
You too, bud. See you later.
Cheers, pal. All the best.
And you.
But also, I was just going to say that there's a couple of things that stick in my mind about the Aberdeen games as well, and it both involves Graham Souness. I remember him. He had a left foot shot through about the edge of the box and it hit the post and trundled along the line. And Jim Waiting tried to convince everybody that it hit across the line.
I think that was Ferguson's last game as Aberdeen manager, mate. I'd need to check that out.
Really?
If it wasn't his last, it was one of his last games. He left soon afterwards.
Souness reaction, like punching to the crowd. That was a sign of intent. It was things to come. We were standing up to this kind of giant of Aberdeen. We were coming back. But the other one, and I've got to laugh every time I see it. See the tackle that Souness did, and I think it was Robert Connor, where he went over the ball and crunched him right into his leg, and then he's pointing, he ripped my sock. Archie McPherson said, and that is a booking.
Aye.
That was brilliant.
No, he didn't mix with the Souness man, boys.
Oh, he was class, Souness.
That's one thing he didn't do, was mix with him. The best of them tried to mix with Souness, and they all failed. They ended up on their backside. I'm talking about I'm no Scottish football, I'm talking about world football. Do you ever remember a guy who was captain of Argentina called Daniel Passarella?
Yes.
You minded him all? Gianluca Vialli was a young boy, 19-year-old at the time, playing with Sampdoria. And he was quick and he was strong and he was giving Passarella a hard time. And, he was kicking lumps at him. And at half-time, Souness pulled everybody's shoulders back and Passarella with the throat. I read this in Souness' book, actually. And he grabbed him with the throat. And he thought he was the top guy of world football. No, he met that man with a moustache, wasn't he? No danger. I loved him. And as the gentleman says, when he punched the air that day scoring against Aberdeen, it was a statement of intent. I'm here. Big things are happening with the Gers. And I think it's mirroring itself in Steven Gerrard. Big things are going to happen with the Gers again.
Do you actually I see a lot of similarities. It didn't happen as quick for Stevie G, but I certainly see a lot of similarities, Bob.
It couldn't help, because at the end of the day, we all know that Souness walked into a pile of money for to improve the squad, and by God, it needed improving at that time. We all remember the early 80s, but I'm no decrying Souness for that. He bought wisely, Woods, Butcher, Wilkins, and all that, but he walked into a different financial situation than what Stevie G's got. Stevie G's done a great building job, and I only hope it can come to fruition, and I think it will. Going with a nice discussion about what the boys are saying. Do they want this league, the football they're playing, the choice of midfield, the squad will go? It's all great to hear, considering what the club was, where the club was 10, 11 years ago. Agreed?
Alex, any comment?
Yeah, no, listen, I could sit back and enjoy Bob speaking all night.
Yeah.
But I listen, 100% agree with the feel-good factor about the club this year it's a different feel. It just feels as if we're coming back, and they know. I don't know if you listened to Radio Snide tonight, but our man Laurie Fedeniston basically made a public apology. He dismissed Rangers' chances this year, and he says this is the real deal Rangers that we've got this year. So Celtic better get the act together, so they'll know that we are putting up a serious challenge this year. So listen, it's just great to see, and hopefully we can continue it into Sunday. But by the way, I've got a wee feeling actually Hibs might take something off of them.
Oh,
I don't know.
Go on yourself, Alec. Go on yourself.
Well,
I'll tell you what, if Hibs do that tomorrow, we might have a special show tomorrow night because of the lockdown, and just to have a wee party.
Oh, I think that would be. That's the best. That's the best. Great suggestion. Great suggestion.
Sorry, Bridge. I don't know if you were aware, but seeing the last 7 visits that Celtic have been to Easter Road, they've only won once. There've been 4 draws. Hibs have won twice, and Celtic have won once. So even if they get a draw them or a drop points, and we could take advantage of that on Sunday.
You took the words right out of my mouth there, Alec. Even if it was a draw, it would suit me.
What would that mean? We could go potentially 14 points clear on Sunday, is that right?
If they get a draw, it's down to 8 points, and we win it.
It's 9 at the moment. We could go 11 points.
Get that abacus out, Ox.
We could go 11 points clear, and they've got 2 games in hand.
That's right.
What's the goal difference?
Yes.
Well, you never know. We'll see. Fingers crossed, Alex.
Yeah, definitely, pal.
By the way, that game you're talking about was the September weekend, 1986, and Fergie was away within 4 weeks to Man United.
No. It was one of his last games. Him and Archie not cracked up that day, but they always did. They cracked up every week at referees. That was part of their tactics. You mind when they used to get a decision against them and the whole team used to surround the referee?
It was part of their game, mate. The whole team.
That's right. That's right. But they were a good side. I mean, don't forget that Alex Ferguson took a Scottish provincial club and won a European trophy with them. That was no mean feat. You know, and hey, Ox, we used to sit at Ibrox that day, and we used to take quite a few doings off them, you know.
Indeed, for a long time, by the way, they gave us a doing.
We did, boys. We did. I mean, tell me, we got beat 5-1 up there, and Frank McDougall scored a hat trick against us.
I remember it well.
Do you know? I think that was Jock Wallace's first game back.
Possibly, aye. Possibly, yeah. We got towed up there that day 5-1, but then again, I mean, they were towing them 4 and 5-1 and all. All right, that doesn't help. That's no consequence to us, but no, we used to take some wallopings up there and at Ibrox.
I think
look, Billy Stark running for deep and header in the ball in the back of the net, and oh dear. But we're here now, enough.
I think like most managers who want to be successful, Alex Ferguson hated losing to the Rangers. He actually hated losing, but he absolutely loved winning against the Rangers. So there was obviously the whatever mistreatment he felt a wee bit victimised by Rangers, and he left under a cloud.
Alex Ferguson's victimisation wasn't founded. There was a passage in his book that Rangers didn't accept him as manager, and I don't like saying this, but Rangers didn't accept him as manager because of his wife's religion. That isn't true. That's not true.
Well, I know one thing.
That's when he was a player.
Alex Ferguson came up to Ibrox, right? Came up to Ibrox to get interviewed for the Rangers manager's job.
That's right.
And so did McLean, Dundee United. Aye.
Jim McLean.
And the two of them knocked it back.
1983.
No, but I'm talking about when Fergie was a player.
Fergie was a player. He got a lot of trouble. Getting a lot of trouble at Ibrox because he opened his mouth about something, and I don't know what it is. Well, but what you said, it might be right.
Well, he had a bad foul in the 1969 final when we got beat 4-0 because he was ordered to mark Billy McNeil. Billy McNeil was a big man.
I was at the game.
Well, yeah, the first corner kick that came out of Celtic scored about, and we just collapsed like a kids. But Ferguson wasn't, as you say, wasn't in favour at Ibrox. But Rangers got rid of him as a player because he just wasn't good enough to play for Rangers.
Funny enough, his goal scoring record wasn't bad when you look at it.
Wasn't too bad, aye. No, it wasn't too bad, but no. Oh, I'd have loved him as a manager, boys. That's being absolutely honest. I think we all would have loved Fergie as a manager, but wasn't he?
Aye, well, we ended up with the Souness era, and we ended up with Advocate. You don't know how things might have went. You just can't answer that.
You can't answer that, no.
I have to say this, and I'm not being funny. The era that I didn't want to leave and lose was actually Walter Smith. I didn't want that to end. I was so upset when Walter wanted to leave. And well, we're on for 10 in a row as well. My God. Crazy. Just crazy.
Aye. Well, it hurt me when we didn't do the 10. Yeah. And I hope it hurts them equally.
Oh, they've not done nothing, mate. They know they've done nothing, mate.
No, I know.
Right, so Bridgeman, if people want to join us and give their thoughts, and they can even talk to Bob here. Two troops. What's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972. And come on and speak to Bob Jer.
Where else can I join us, Paul?
There? Anybody about anything.
Come on, Port. I'll join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We brought in a call with Fox or Old School Blue. Phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. Alex, I know we're not getting to go to the game at the weekend, but it does feel like a big football match, doesn't it?
It does, and by the way, the guys touched on it during the week. The coverage Rangers TV this year has been outstanding. You know, the guests that we're getting, the co-commentators, the analysis of Neil McCann is absolutely brilliant. Short of actually being there, it's great to have these sort of guys analysing the game, you know, the way that they are. So the guys are producing on the park, and we're getting it right off the park, and long may it continue, pal.
Richmond?
He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. The TV side of it, the way things have been going, have just been brilliant. I'm an avid supporter on the telly. I love watching them on the telly as well. Like most people, but the coverage has been excellent. Shall we say this? Other than actually going to the game, sitting at Ibrox and watching it and feeling the atmosphere, it's absolutely brilliant. It really is unbelievable. I thoroughly enjoy it, and well done, Rangers. I don't know whether it's going to continue next season based on the way things are. We should be free and clear based on the recent news, but you just never know. I hope they get the fans in as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Let's get an extra couple of bob into the Rangers.
I was actually speaking to my MP. I was actually speaking to my MP today, Bridge. I raised the ageism thing. I think they should start with the younger ones up, rather than the older ones doing.
Bob Jer, can I come in for a question to Bob Jer, please?
Don't ask him his age.
Here we go. No. This is what the Fox said. On you go, Fox.
No, I'll just let you ask him. Last week, Nurse Gladys told me the spark had gone out of my relationship. She's coming up tomorrow night, and I was thinking of tasering her. Do you think that'll bring the electricity back in?
No. You like about tasering her? I give her a shock. Take your tours and give her a shock. No, my wife used to be a nun. You're in bed with her, she used to say, you're getting none of this and none of that. You've heard that before in Glasgow. And, I'm getting her a chair for her Christmas, but I can't get anybody to wire it up. No, I can only reiterate what the boys are saying about the team. McBrien's gone well, playing silky smooth football. Joe Aribo, turn it on, son. You're an excellent player. And I think he will play on Sunday. I think your midfield will be Aribo, obviously, Jack, and Arfield. And that'll do me.
I've been joined by Andy Phillips. Evening, Andrew.
Evening, chaps. Everybody okay?
All right, Andy boy.
Aye, fine.
No bad. Yourselves, yeah, good. Yeah. Just going back to your three sheep games.
Yes, mate.
I'll get one about 77 at Bob's. Right, right. The one that Bob said the 6-1 game we tore them apart, and I think it was on a Wednesday night. Actually,
it was.
And there was another one that we played. We played them in the league on Saturday. I think it was about 30,000. They 1-2-1, and we played them in the Scottish Cup the following week, and we beat them 4-1. And they were outstanding that day. I think Martin Ensign scored the first goal.
That was when Jock Wallace was a manager.
That's right, them two that stick out for me. There's many other, but like you said, there's been many Danes as well that you don't want to remember. But we've got them at plenty of times as well across the years. And the last one, obviously, is our team would have absolutely wounded to the core there, and with the 2 early goals that won that league for. They're the three that I could pick. I could pick out a few more, right? Even tighter ones, like, but they three are the ones that stick out in my mind there, like,
Aye, they're good shouts, mate. Good shouts. They have been, if you like, and this, I suppose, have been the third force in Scottish football for a long time now.
Yeah.
Aberdeen, is that fair, Andy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're at the moment, like, they play their games against Lascelles. I mean, if they played like that, played against us like they played, they'd be challenging even a wee bit. We know what their games are all about. It's all about getting one over the Rangers. They're equivalent. They can beat the teams up to, say, the bottom 5. They're pretty consistent against them. Other than Rangers, they're way down to the fill. That's a fact. No matter what anybody says. I mean, that bloody what's his name, McInnes. He talks them up before he plays them. So what's your players thinking when they're looking at him? He's going, oh, they can do this and they can do that. So that was my manager. I was saying, geez, what the hell's he all about?
How lucky were we, Andy? Did we dodge a bullet or no?
I didn't want them at the start there when it all came up there. I was going, no, we can't be serious. And then when he came down, didn't he? And bottled it, for one to another word anyway, but I'm glad he did. Oh, that'd have been a disaster. That don't bear thinking about, man.
Can I ask you a question on that? Can I ask you a question on that? Did any of us like him as a player?
It was tidy. He never played that many games, obviously. Advocat used him now and then, mate, so that shows you the boy's ability. He was tidy and had a good career down south, mate. He wasn't the worst player.
He did indeed, yes. He had a good career down there, yeah, absolutely.
Aye.
The best game I saw him playing at Oxshire was against, it was in the Champions League against PSV. We beat them 4-1. And their great player was a guy called Luke Nealis. And Advocat gave him a man marking job on him that night. And this guy was like the Belgian Zidane, and he marked him out of the game and got man of the match that night. He was absolutely fantastic. That's the best game I saw him play.
That'd be fair, but I just think, Alex, I don't know what you think, but I think they just got a bit of luck there. At the time, some people might be disappointed, but I think it's worked out well for us.
Danny McInnes was a decent player, name here.
Yeah.
Alex, in you come, mate?
Yeah, no bother. No problem. No, listen, I agree with you. I think we missed a bullet, definitely. I mean, he speaks well, McInnes, in his interviews, and he's a good PR man for the club, but he doesn't have that kind of aura that Gerrard brings with him. He's just about a kind of defeatist attitude, a wee bit like Steve Clarke, if you want. Just hold it together, organise a team, make you hard to beat, but it's a hard watch, and I don't think we could accept that as a club. Gerrard's made us not just hard to beat, but also good on the eye to watch, and we're a very positive team under Gerrard. I mean, it's been a slow process. He did say, as Port Bear touched earlier, it would be a 4-year plan. But now we're starting to see the fruition of the quality players that he's getting in, and it's just great to see everybody doing their duties.
Here. Can I come in a wee minute, Ox, yeah? Oh, I'll just come in then.
Of course you can.
Thanks, pal. It's just to say that I sincerely believe that tomorrow, or rather Sunday, our manager, we need to give our manager a win on Sunday. We need to give him a win. Because that to me is the next big stepping stone for him. He has to get over this wee hurdle, we call it what we like, but that'll make it up, because that's him. He's done all the games in the league for the first set, and this is him back when Aberdeen was our first game, and this is us the first of the second set. So
no, but it's for three games, isn't it? This will be the fourth game.
Oh my God! Why? What am I thinking of then? It was Aberdeen we played the first game, wasn't it?
But you've not got a supercomputer in your house.
Oh, of course, I forgot about the supercomputer. I forgot about that. Right, sorry, pal. Sorry, I do apologise. Anyway, it's the first of the major teams. This will be the first that we'll play the second time. So I think that we, as Rangers fans and the club, deserve a good victory over Aberdeen at Ibrox for our manager. And it's for the manager. That should settle his nerves and he can see where he's going.
Port Bear.
Am I being overconfident, Oxshare? I believe you'll beat them comfortably, mate. 3-0, at least. I really do. I think maybe we'd finished off before the international break and knew we were playing. I think that team knows what Gerrard expects when he comes back. He mentioned it so much in his interview, and I think he'll be expecting the same level of consistency. Even though the guys have travelled, he'll not want that standard to drop. And I can honestly see us beating Aberdeen very comfortably at the weekend, mate. Honestly, I really do.
Bob, Chair?
I think so. I don't think you're being overconfident. I think what McInnes will do is he'll set up 4 at the back, 4 in the middle, and you'll hear the boy Hedges. He's got a wee bit of pace about him, by the way. And big, what's his name? Cosgrove. Hello?
Carry on, Bob. Carry on.
Now we're listening.
Bad signal. Sorry, boys. I thought I'd lost you there.
No.
What you'll do is you'll do the 2 banks of 4 and you'll play the boy Hedges through the middle to try and support big Cosgrove. And it's pretty predictable, isn't it? So if we get the ball down, get it playing about, get it wide to Tav and Barisic, as we usually do, yeah, we can take care of this. We're talking about playing a Scottish Premier League team here, so we can do it. We're at home. I think we'll be too strong for them. I didn't expect to do them 4 or 5, but I think we will beat them. I've got enough in the can to beat them.
I would take a Bridgeman now, just because I think it's more important for the 3 points. But I get where Port Bear's coming for, Andy.
Aye.
Can I just be a wee bit mindful here, right? We're all good football teams that are on the run and all that, and the breakdown and all that. There's always a defeat down the corner. So I'm not worried about losing the game. I think it's going to be tight. I think they're going to come and kick and gouge. The big Cosgrove fella's going to try and ruffle with the centre halves.
Yep.
And if we look at it, we must, where we could possibly draw or slip up here, is if we don't come out bang at it, these will go for it, because the manner of the games that we play against them across the years. We must be mindful here. I think if we get through this game, I'm not really bothered about the score out as long as we get the W at the side of it. I'm not worried about the European game, and I don't like to look too far, but I think if we can win the next 3 league games, I think we're putting ourselves in a very, very strong position to go forward, especially if they drop a couple of points tomorrow, which, as Alex said, I've kind of said that Shuggy all week. I think that's going to happen. So if that could happen, and we just get the result and then move forward, I mean, all good, but I'll always be mindful here after the break, and all that, and it is them, isn't it? So, let's just come out they come out with the right attitude. There shouldn't be a problem. And you would like to think, no football for 2 weeks, Stephen Gerrard gets in and come on now, we put ourselves in a position, let's go take it on here now. And if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
I think, Alex, as football fans, our glass is always half empty, yeah? The nerves kick in, didn't they?
Aye, well, I know where Andy's coming from. Listen, it's because it's been that long that we've hadn't had success, that we're just desperate for it. But we've also got to be mindful of the fact that there is that kind of slip up round the corner, potentially, but there are no signs of it so far. 20 games we've played this season, 17 wins, 3 draws, 16 clean sheets. That's fantastic for them, guys. But listen, Ox, can I just touch on a wee thing? Just touching on the...
Listen, mate, I don't want to be rude, but it's not that kind of show.
Yeah, bad man.
Don't get upset, Ali. That's what he's like. That's what he's
like. Right show, mate. If you want to do that, go to Gears TV, mate.
It was just about Gerrard's presser earlier today,
yes,
where he didn't throw Jordan Jones and George Edmondson under the bus the way the media were all portraying that he would do. Again, they got that totally wrong. So I think that's great man management. Again, they've had time to discuss it because of the international break. But what that does is it keeps a good vibe round about the squad. You know, we've seen after the Standard Liège game, the guy getting involved, the coach of them getting up to the roof, and everybody getting toe-to-toe. A wee bit like Hibs game when Souness made his debut. The full team was in on it. Well, we haven't no thrown them under the bus and keeping them part of the plans or keeping a good vibe in place. It's great management, I think, because the squad will look at that and go, aye, fair enough.
Can I come in here, Ox?
On you go, Bob. You can take that little point for Alex there.
Alex, did you hear my comment? Did you hear what I said last night, pal? No? Were you on last night?
I've listened to you all week, Bob. You've been brilliant.
Aye. Well, for us, pal, what I said last night, I said to the boys last night was that we didn't want this Edmondson and Jones situation. The press getting a hold of it and shaking it about like a wee dog to start a war of words between Rangers and the press. We didn't want that. And I thought Gerrard handled it magnificently. He really did. He says, right, the boys are sorry for what they did. They're back training again. And we'll see what the future brings, you know, when the 7-game ban's up. End the story. Because we used to bite with the press, you know. We used to bite with it. And I don't need to tell you all the history about what happened to Souness and what happened to various people with the press. And that's what they would try and do, was stir up a hornet's nest between Rangers and the media. And we didn't want that anymore. It's all things football. Concentrate on all things football. Get results and carry on.
I have to agree with Bob there. Seriously agree. Well said, Bob. Because I was saying the other night there, I don't know what's going to happen. It won't bother me. It wouldn't bother me in the least if Rangers they cut the ties and got rid of them. It wouldn't bother me. But I like both players. I think Edmondson not a bad player, really. And I was very excited when Jordan Jones came to join our team. So there's got to be a change in their attitudes. It has to be changed. And it has to be, the fans have to see that change. And that's for sure. So well done to the manager. He's like everything else he does with a bit of dignity about him and a bit of pride in his club. So let's see what he does. Go on yourself, Stevie. Stephen Gerrard, MBE. Well done.
Right,
I'm going to have to say good night, guys.
All right, you take the dog's Bob.
The dog has just appeared.
Listen, I want you to know there's a clamour for people, for you and Linda to do a show.
Right, we'll do a show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But we'll show
do
that.
A show.
Yep.
Absolutely, no problem. Anytime, anywhere. All things Rangers. Good night, boys. All the best. The other people.
Safe, Bob.
Good night, Bob.
This adventure, Port Bear, you there? Port Bear, come on. You're doing a bridge, man.
I'm here, mate, yep.
Right, this adventure that we're doing, Rangers Radio, it's like a rock, innit? We turn a rock and we just turn our characters. And we're fun another one, aren't we?
Aye, mate, I've talked to you about this. In the weeks gone by, you know, our show's gone from strength to strength. You know, the level of our pundits, with guys that come on the show every night and do shows, Linda and Train but a few.
Not the best of callers on this now, you know what I mean? But sometimes we get good callers.
Even the level of the callers, in my opinion, Oxshire, is gone up tenfold. And we're getting these characters who are phoning every night, and I think the listeners absolutely love it. And long may it continue. And then what you add to that is now we're getting people for the club coming in and giving me slots and giving us some of their time, which is absolutely fantastic, mate. So take my hat off to you all. You're doing a fantastic job, mate.
Well said there, Port Bear. We thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead, doing a bridge, man.
Aye, you're doing a fantastic job, lads. Well, keep it going.
Well said, Port Bear.
No, but saying you were doing a bridge, man.
Oh, very sorry. I'm not new.
I'll be honest with you, Andy. I think I was doing a bridge, man.
Oh, hey, listen, Potts, brand new. Listen, taking that on from Pot as well, it's great going into the Facebook feeds and seeing all the young guys and the other guys coming in there and having a wee bit of crack and still knowing the knowledge about the Rangers. So the show's going out in different vises all over the place now, which is very good. I mean, I stay in that feed all the time. It's great to listen to the likes of Bob. I could listen to all that because obviously he's a few years in front of me. And then we go down to our era, Ox, you know what I mean? Because you're about the same age as me. So you should be able to talk what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute. The games, when the games I talk about, my granddad told me about them.
Aye, that's right. So I tell you what, you must have been a young boy because you seem to be in the games that I was in. So you was either very young or you're a lot older than me as well.
Oh my
I was a
God, that's a
babe in
shocker.
arms. Anyway, talking about babes in arms or a babe magnet, I don't know what it is. We've been joined by George for EK.
Oh,
how we doing,
top man, George. Top man.
Babe magnet. Babe magnet.
Wolfer magnet.
All right, Mark. How are you doing, George? Great show, Mark. Great show.
What's on your mind, Mucker?
Oh, I've written, but I'll not tell you about it. But I'll just go on with the angry. I think the 3 games I pick out is the one where we won the Hingway. We drew with Aberdeen and took the title.
1987.
1987, mate. Aye,
yep.
Aye. Because we thought before that we're in the wilderness, not talking about. And what you call it? And I would say when we Hingway, Hateley scored both goals in 1991.
Yep. Well,
and also another one, I know, man. The Rangers 5-0, but I don't remember this one. Like when back in December 23, we beat the Sheep 2-1, and Novo scored on a boy. If you remember him, Sionko.
Was it no Sebo?
No, I'm sure it was Sionko.
Is that not the goal, the one and only goal that Sebo got?
He scored 3 goals. That's he was a Czech Republic guy.
I remember Sionko played wide in the right.
Aye, we beat him too. We stopped with the other thing. We lost the title that year, so it wasn't that good, I suppose, you know what I mean? But any beating them's good, not talking about. And I'm telling you, we're going to pump them this weekend. Pump them.
I absolutely love that, innit? It's brilliant, isn't it, saying that? We're going to pump them.
Right, so what's the score going to be? We'll go around the panel and get the score. George, what's the score going to be?
I'm going for 3-0.
All right. Andy?
2-1, possibly 3.
All right. Alex?
I'm going 3-0 as well.
Okay. Bridgeman, I've got you down for 1. Portbear.
Yes, 1-0 for me, pal. And well done, the guys. I'm there, and I hope every one of you get the score. I don't really care. 1-0 will do me.
Portbear, you said 3, didn't you?
I did, mate. Yeah.
Aye. All right. Okay.
We're Sherlocks.
I just think if we play, we're going to make loads of chances, and I think you'll be nearer the score than Bridgeman. There you go.
And can we get your team, Ox? Is that all right, fast you? Can you get your team?
My team would be. This is assuming everybody's fit, because we don't know between Highlander and Balogun, because Balogun had a slight knock. But if everybody's fit, Tav, McGregor in goal, Tavernier, Barisic fullbacks, centre halves Golson and Balogun, midfield of Ryan Jack, Glenn Kamara and Joe Aribo, and Ryan Kent, Alfredo Morelos, and then I've got that position where we've got a bit of intrigue. Do we play Arfield because of the type of game it is, or do we go out at home and we go for Ruth? I think the manager will go for Ruth, but Oxchair would go for Scotty Arfield. There you go.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. It's all about opinions, mate. It's all about opinions.
But I just make another wee Rangers radio announcement. But we were donated a strip by Pro V1, and we were asked to find a worthy child. We have done that, and the strip's on its way. Hopefully in time for Christmas. Everything's moved. Big shout out and a thank you for everybody here at Rangers Radio to Pro V1 who donated the kids' strip. Once the kids go to the strip, everything's sorted. We'll announce who it is and we'll see some photographs, yeah? But a great gesture for Pro V1, and that's just what Rangers Radio's about. Not for profit and just for giving. Port Bear.
Fair play, Oxshire. Like, as I say, it's another thing. We go from strength to strength in here. We're a club that never asks but always gives. But we're out here to help anybody. But the time comes calling to help a fellow Bear, a fellow, supporter. We are first and foremost there to help anybody, mate. It's been done many times since I've been in the show, and I'd like to thank Pro V, and hope the person who's lucky enough to get the strip enjoys it. And in Bath Rangers Radio, I'd like to give Pro V a wee round of applause, guys. It's a great gesture.
Well done, Pro V1. Well done. Sorry, pal.
I've took my hat off to Pro V1. What a gentleman. And I'll tell you what, I spoke to both parties today. One yesterday and one today. One was delighted to give it, and when I spoke to the person we decided to get to, he was absolutely delighted and gave his big thank you to Pro V1 and Rangers Radio. So really nice. George, we're trying to get you a deal with DFS. We'll get it sorted, mate.
Oh, you'll never live that down, George, will you?
No, I'll get a tattoo of a couch in me. I'm sodding off.
We were going to get you, George, as one of them suits you stand outside DFS and you got to try and entice the customers in. Would you do that?
No, you're all right.
Are you sure?
No, you're all right, mate.
I'll tell you what we'll do, George. We'll get Port Bear to do it first, then we'll make our mind up, Your couch went down in Comedy Gold on Rangers Radio.
Aye.
Then they get it in Comedy Gold with the council. There's 5 of them taking boys yet.
You definitely
a couch.
I know.
There's a couch in 5 back.
Christmas DVD, George. You'll make the Christmas DVD.
By the way, that box number's a belter.
Do you like that one?
Ah, it's a cracker, man. It's a cracker. And so is the one for you and all.
I need to shut you all up. And Bridgeman, the Rangers accounts have just come out, yeah?
Oh, excellent.
And annual accounts and the notice of the AGM's come out tonight. And quite a lot of them. Obviously, the devil's in the detail, yeah? So everything's moved along. The accounts are out. And obviously everything's will be all right because we've got people at the back is supporting the club, and the club, the devil's in the detail, and I'm sure we'll talk about them next week. So there's some homework for you all.
Superb.
Just too late for us to maybe look because the devil's in the detail. Obviously we've lost a few quid, but you've got to take out the COVID situation as well. When you have no revenue coming in.
Well, yeah.
The final quarter of the year, so a lot of money there, But look, we're in a better place than we were, and every year they're getting better and better. Yeah.
I'm sure I read something tonight that Aberdeen were down £2.5 to £3 million in their year end.
We're going to be doing more than that. We potentially.
Oh yes, of course.
Had a question, Ox, before we go. What's important to everybody? Is it the financial side of what's going on at Ibrox, or the product in the park, or is it both?
Well, I think of what happened in 2012, Port, we'll never take our ball off. Our finger off the financial situation.
Yeah.
No, you're right, pal. We can't afford to take the eye off the ball again. We can't afford to be put down the legs and stuff the way we were. But listen, we've got every faith in the guys that's in there. They know that they will keep that under control. We've always got our tycoon for the Far East that's coming in with his £5 million, shared dividends and what have you. So it's good to have the kind of guys in the background, as well as all the merchandise that we're selling as well.
And Bridgman, obviously the merchandise deal and all that will not be in the deal. I think it's the 15th of December. It's a virtual AGM, Bridge, and it just shows you how important that UEFA's been. We're operating loss. It's went up by about £4 million. Obviously, that's COVID related, and there was 20.7 million came in for UEFA. Shows you how important the European run is. So there we go. That's been Rangers Radio. Over to you, Bridgman. Bridgman.
What a marvellous night tonight. I really enjoyed it. It's been a really good laugh as well. Great patter. What a great night again at Lockshire. Well done, pal. To you and to the rest of the boys, Port Bear and of course the two techie guys. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, believe it or not, two sleeps to see the big team again. Keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. Keep it going.
I thank all the callers that joined us tonight. Each and every one of you, Carl, Bournemouth Bear, Bob Ger, Andy for Leeds, George VK, of course Alex, who's joined us, Port Bear and Bridgman for taking up the control of the show, the two boys doing the lobby, everybody that listens on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter and Facebook. This has been Rangers Radio, and if things go well tomorrow, Bridgman has agreed to give us a special tomorrow night for 1 hour. But if it doesn't, we will be back at 11 o'clock, Fox's favourite time, with a pre-match show building up to the Rangers and Aberdeen game. Take it away, old school boy.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the forties roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but never see back home in Scotland more than all the rest of me. It's the blue sea of my God. It's the biggest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue sea of my God. And this part of the village just lay asleep. No more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more